Wild Things was a good...
I remember watching that and being
Boobies,
like...
right? Boobies were
Yeah,
in
you saw
that?
boobies, but you also saw Kevin Bacon's bacon at the end. Saw his penis.
And it looked like bacon. It looked like a flappy piece of bacon.
No. It just looked like a penis. But when you're 14 and you haven't seen a lot of live in the flesh penises, it's like, oh, it wasn't really live in the flesh.
Live in the flesh. Lauren's been going to some theaters lately. Live in the flesh.
One of those theaters. Everything's
Sounds like
sticky. Everything's sticky in here.
Hey everyone, we're Bucko. This is my best friend Lauren.
This is my best friend Aaron.
And today we talk about the zombie apocalypse.
Wait, it's kind of dark in here.
What?
If only we had some sort of survival tool.
Don't worry, I got us.
Yay! Romantic.
We came prepared. Prepared.
Okay, so most people say, "What would you do in a zombie apocalypse?"
Okay, so
But it doesn't necessarily have to be a zombie, but an resource apocalypse kind of.
Like a weather apocalypse.
Yeah.
But then we're cutting down future shows.
No, but I'm just saying, like, maybe it's not necessarily a zombie. Maybe there's a werewolf outbreak or an alien outbreak.
Werewolf outbreak would be interesting.
Yeah.
Like a sexually transmitted like werewolf disease would be very interesting. Like when it's men and women.
That's how you get to be a werewolf, is you get an STD.
Yeah.
It's probably a lot easier to manage than like other ones.
Yeah.
Just stay away from the moon, guys.
I always find it fascinating when there's like from the 80s movies where it's the woman who's like this weird like sexy alien or sexy like creature. And then guys have sex with them, and then the woman kills them. And I'm like, who is that supposed to make us scared of? Women? Is that like a... Am I scared of good-looking women now?
Or like the movie Species, yeah.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good movie. For a teenage boy.
I'm sure it was. I don't know that if there was an Oscar for teenage boy movies that they loved, that'd probably be tops.
That and Wild Things. Wild Things was a good...
I remember watching that and being like...
Right? Boobies were
Yeah,
in
you saw
that?
boobies, but you also saw Kevin Bacon's bacon at the end. Saw his penis.
And it looked like bacon. It looked like a flappy piece of bacon.
No. It just looked like a penis. But when you're 14 and you haven't seen a lot of live in the flesh penises, it's like, oh, it wasn't really live in the flesh.
Live in the flesh. Lauren's been going to some theaters lately. Live in the flesh.
One of those theaters. Everything's sticky. Everything's sticky in here. I'm kidding.
It seems like Live in the Flesh would be like one of those 1950s like peep shows.
No, I just mean I grew up before like the internet was a thing, but it wasn't like you were going to see a lot of porn at that time.
All right.
Or at least a girl didn't know how to find that. A boy probably did, but a girl didn't. So you didn't see penises. You saw it in textbooks.
Right.
So when you saw it on a movie, you're like, what? Still gross. So that's basically what a 14-year-old girl goes, oh my god, it's a penis. Oh, that's really what it looks like. Yeah.
So, zombies and what did we watch? We recently watched A Quiet Place.
Which is not zombies.
It's very good, though.
But it is very good. I saw some people say they didn't like it. I'm like, then you have...
Who didn't like it?
No imagination. Cranky people.
Cranky people.
Cranky people who are judgy and don't like anything. But A Quiet Place is kind of a cool, more realistic thing, I think, than zombies. Because it's... I mean, I don't want to spoil anything, but they can't talk because there is an alien race that lands on Earth on a meteor.
Oh, don't say all of that.
No, it's in the synopsis. So spoiler.
Meteor thing? Well, too late.
No, it's in the preview.
You can't say.
It's in the preview.
Darth Vader is his dad. Oh, media. You can't.
It's in the preview. Watch it. There is a species of huntering things that hunt by sound, so everybody has to be quiet, hence the name, A Quiet Place. So their resources change, and cities are abandoned, just like in a zombie apocalypse.
I can't think of the word that we were trying to say, alert.
What?
The alert word, it's called.
Alert word?
The one you said something alert, and I can't remember what it was, and I said media alert, and I don't know why I said
spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Why did I say media alert? My brain is very tired.
That's all right. That's fair.
Very tired.
So what would you do in a resource apocalypse, a zombie apocalypse, an alien apocalypse?
Which one? It's so different.
I don't know. I mean, you need to protect your people. You need to eat. You need to have shelter. So how do you do that?
Because the thing with zombies is zombies came from the voodoo culture of bringing people back from the dead, which is actually So what it is in Haiti, I believe it's Haitian.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's Haitian. I don't believe it is. I know it's Haitian. Okay. Fact. That they would eat this type of fish and there would be an allergic reaction and then they would seem like they died, but they didn't die.
Oh, so then they'd bury them and then...
Then they'd bury them and then some guy would, like a witch doctor,
Mm-hmm.
or voodoo doctor, I don't know which one would say, would have this antidote for this one thing.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a case of a guy, there's a Canadian doctor that literally went down to discover what it was, but it was because of certain fish that
Release like a poison or a toxin.
is a toxin and poison. But it was related to like that Japanese blowfish that you're not supposed to eat. Anyway.
Fugu.
Fugu, right. So that's where the zombie originally comes from, because you can bring people back from the dead.
Well, I know
And
there's
it's a
also...
curse. You're supposed to be enslaved.
Oh.
That's the idea, is that you bring them back from the dead to enslave them.
Yeah.
So you can use them for work.
Well, I know there's another culture, and their custom is, I think it's like every 4 years, you dig up passed on relatives and redress them. Yeah. And you take photos with them. Yeah. And it's not creepy or weird to them at all. I can't remember, forgive me, I don't remember which culture it is that does that. And I'm sure it's a very specific part of that culture, but still, I think that's really interesting. Like, and it's actually meant in great respect.
Sure. It wasn't until Jorge Romano, is that how you say his name?
Jorge?
George Romano. Jorge is just the Spanish way of saying George.
It is, I believe. Yeah.
Jorge Romano.
Yeah.
Did Night of the Living Dead. Uh-huh. And that's where we got our modern day zombie.
Why'd you say you guys? I'm not Latin. You said, is that how you guys say?
I'm so out of it today.
I'm not.
I'm so, like, don't.
I don't speak Spanish, but thank you.
This is the thing. When people get in trouble about getting their words mixed up in real life, I would be, like, as a celebrity, I'd be a horrible celebrity. Because I would be like, what? No, I mean it like this.
Calm down.
I'd have to explain myself over and over again.
That's all right. But some people are really butthurt about a lot of things, so just relax, guys.
The Butthurt Club out there.
You didn't say a racial slur.
Welcome to all of you from the Butthurt Club.
Yeah, but I just think...
Sign here. Here's the Butthurt Club welcoming you.
I think those people who get called out are usually the ones that say, like, incredibly racist things. And you don't accidentally...
Or
yeah,
sexist.
and you don't accidentally say that.
Like T.J. Miller. Like that kind of stuff.
Brutal.
Brutes.
So, my theory has always been that if there was some sort of, like... apocalypse, like there's zombies, or like, oh my gosh, so what you do is you fill your bathtub with water as much as you can get in there.
Check.
Because you don't know how your water supply are going to be. So fill any bathtubs or large containers with water.
Yeah.
That you do. Then I would do my best to find a Costco or a Walmart. Because if you're on Walking Dead, when they're like, sweet, we found a prison, that's a pretty good place to live because you protect yourself from zombies until,
we all know what happens. We watched The Walking Dead.
Until a certain point.
Until Negan showed up, and then it's like, oh, you killed Glenn.
Yeah,
beat it. We're done.
Not watching it anymore. Too violent in the wrong way. But I would try to find like a Costco because they have pretty much everything you would need. Right. Especially an American Costco, because they even have like quads and gasoline and stuff like that. So you can live off of like a box this big of Cheerios for quite some time.
What I find fascinating is people leave their homes.
Well, if you don't have enough stuff in your homes, I get to.
I get it.
But it would be the most familiar place to fortress up if you had to.
And you just make what I would do is like make panic rooms, like those Ukrainian nesting dolls you have of panic rooms.
Within a panic room, within a panic room.
Right.
That's not bad.
You just keep doing that. When I used to sing in a boys' choir, I know, I sang in a boys' choir. I used to think, I don't know why, I watched too much Steven Spielberg, because Steven Spielberg loved putting Nazis in films. I guess Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yep.
I would always think of if the Nazis invaded. And it's also because I watched, my biggest fear, as you guys know, is home invasion, because of the movie Wolverine, right?
Which one? Wolverine?
The Wolverines.
Yeah.
Oh no, Red Dawn, not Wolverine.
Like Wolverines, because I was
Wolverine. Sorry.
You don't want to be a bionic superhero.
No.
That's why I'm scared, guys.
They were called the Wolverines. The Wolverines
is
really bad. I suggest watching Red Dawn every day.
Watch the 80s Red Dawn.
Yeah.
There is a new remake of Red Dawn.
Yeah,
but my favorite part of the 80s Red Dawn is when they go to that gas station to get supplied up, and then the guy puts in 4 flats of Coca-Cola.
Yeah,
don't be don't be caught in the wilderness without flats of Coca-Cola. Like, he only gives them like a bag of canned goods, but flats of Coke. Well, I'm sure it would be a lovely treat if you hadn't had one in a long time and you just destitute.
You'd be aware.
Yeah.
You'd be awake and aware. Like, if I drink a Coke, I'm up.
But it doesn't keep. And then there's that story about like Diet Coke during the Gulf War. And if you heat Diet Coke and then it cools and you drink it, you can get formaldehyde poisoning because aspartame is very similar molecularly.
Is that a conspiracy theory?
No.
I think that's a conspiracy theory in order to hide the medication that the army used on its soldiers during that time because they were doing testing on soldiers.
No, I believe that happened too. I'm not giving you a free pass on that. I'm just saying.
U.S. Army.
I'm just saying that I've read lots of studies about how similar aspartame is to preservative of like formaldehyde. So that's why like bugs and like ants will avoid it. Like birds, all animals in nature are like, I'm not eating that. And they could be starving and they won't touch it. So I mean, what does that tell you? So stay the heck away from that in an apocalypse, guys. Unless one of your friends dies and you want to save them, then just cover them in Diet Coke. Put them in the sun. Hope for the best.
And how do we know zombies want to eat brains?
I don't know.
Who made up this creature? Like this, I guess George Romano.
Well, and also, I think, why has there never been a movie about zombies where people are like, screw this, and Romero.
Romero, thank you.
And then like move north. Because there's never been a movie about zombies, and I think I've said this before on the show, zombies in the snow. Because even if you're controlled by being a zombie, flesh still freezes.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't be able to move. They'd just be like, eh.
You don't even have to move that far north. Just move to Winnipeg, everyone. And then in the thaw, we just go out, and as they're de-thawing, we just...
hockey stick them. Make it a Canadian zombie movie. I want to see this. I'll write it.
I think they did one with...
but not campy.
I think they did do a Frozen zombie movie with Nazi zombies.
Like, I'm not talking White Walkers.
I'm not even lying. That is a B movie that I believe exists.
But I'm talking about, like, Walking Dead. Why haven't they moved away from Georgia? Like, go north.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Go to Minnesota, check it out.
Yeah, because
there's a lot to do in Minnesota.
Because then you'll be able to see, you'll be seeing the zombies frozen, and then you just have to wait till they're frozen, and then you just...
and man, you can take your skidoo out for a rip and take out those zombies there, guy.
Ice fishing huts in the middle of nowhere, just waiting for, like, zombies to be like, like, stuck, and then just... get them all.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Like, if you really think about it, moving around in the winter is actually easier a lot of the time.
Oh.
Because of skidoos.
Right.
It'd be good.
And they still have gas. Like, so they have Walking Dead, and then they have Fear the Walking Dead, which is set around the same time, but it's a different group of people. It is a better show. Traveling along, like, the California coast. But I want to see another one, like, Frozen Walking Dead, where it's, like, a group of people during the same time period, but in...
Churchill,
like,
Manitoba.
Yeah. Like, let's see that.
Well, there's the Thing, which is that weird creature that transforms.
Right.
Which is not zombies.
But that's under different monster rules. Those monsters, like White Walkers, are technically zombies, but something about them lets them move in the winter.
What I always thought was you have to go to a place that's large with not a lot of people in it. That's what I always thought. Like going to a large area with not a lot of people. Like going to that... like we have a military barracks that no one uses. And just go hide out in there.
It's still highly guarded, but it's empty.
It's empty.
But it's highly guarded. Like, they don't even let you do a U-turn in the little parking lot.
My 12-year-old self thinks that they should make it into a paintball. It would be deadly as a paintball kind of place. Because you can... cool. It's an army barracks. It'd be perfect for a paintball joint.
And it has, like, a tower, so you can just, like, sit up there. But, I mean, it's got, like, grass growing through the cracks on the pavement and stuff. And it actually does look like a set for an apocalyptic movie.
You can make a 1970s, like, army film there, no problem.
Yeah, it actually looks like the barracks from Private Benjamin.
Yeah,
that's pretty
good. So you need a mode of transportation, right?
Mm-hmm. Horses,
but they can get eaten.
Yeah, but they can get eaten instead of you.
I think like a big, like dump truck, like those huge mega dump trucks would be great.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. I want the big, but eventually the gas is gonna run out, and people don't realize this gas expires too. So, like, if you ever watch, like, I Am Legend, when he's, like, pumping gas, it's, like, 5 years later, he probably wouldn't get a lot. Though he is a scientist, so maybe he could, like, make his own. Like reconstitute it.
Refine his own oil.
I don't think you're supposed to boil it. just feel like you shouldn't boil gas.
Over open flame? Why not? I don't understand.
But yeah, people forget that. So like the fact
who
that
would you take with you? Who would you take with you? Who wouldn't out of your friends take with you? Because
no, I wouldn't. Honestly, I don't know anybody.
That's a question.
I would never like bail on anyone. I'm sure there's friends I'd rather have with me because they might just be a little more like apt to handle themselves and you.
I know a lot of friends that wouldn't take me probably.
Yeah, I probably. You know what? Now that I say that, I'm sure I would take more friends than that would take me. That's just my guess.
I know there's a lot of people that would be like, no, Aaron's too loud. Can't take him. He's too loud.
Or they'd make you can come, but you got to walk in the front.
Yeah. Why don't make fart noises? That would be a stipulation if I
especially in a quiet place, like where you have to be really quiet, and Aaron's like.
That would.
Like mother. Although, yeah.
I hated fart jokes. I've said this before. I hated fart jokes until I was 20. Until I found that sound, and then I was like, that is the perfect.
Well, I think the reason why you hated fart jokes, and it bothers me to this day when you're watching a movie and then they have a fart and it's like not a real sounding fart.
It doesn't sound real at all.
Ever. And you're like, it's funny when it sounds like a real fart, but when it's just like that's what, yeah, sometimes they sound like that, but the funniest farts don't.
The funniest farts are suppressed farts.
Or attempted.
Those are the best. The suppressed farts are the funniest farts. Where someone's like, anyway. Let's get back to the subject. Do zombies fart?
Do they? And they would smell wicked bad.
Yeah. Right?
I don't know that zombies, but here's the thing. If zombies have to eat, do they have a digestive system? So that would mean that they would have to pee and poop.
This is the problem with zombies. Your bodies are breaking down. So how is the mechanics of your body moving when your tissue's deteriorating?
Well, they do have that zombie fungus that really does exist in the world. It hasn't attacked people, but it can get into like bugs.
But
and that's
bugs
crazy.
But their skeletal system is on the outside. I'm talking about people with skeletal system on the inside, and their tissues are deteriorating.
But maybe that's what the zombie virus does, is it controls your skeletal system. So even if you are human, your bones still work.
I don't know how that science would work.
I don't either.
The remote control.
What?
Like they go off of like waves.
Oh.
Like some sort of sound, like new wave
like
that we don't know.
echolalic,
like a zombie wave.
Oh. Like they're at a frequency
wave.
humans can't hear.
Yeah.
Humans can't hear it, but zombies are like, what?
That'd be really interesting.
Yeah. Could dolphins be zombies? That would be scary. You know what else would be a scary one? An octopus zombie. That'd be really scary. Like a giant squid zombie.
What is the scariest zombie? To me, carny zombies are the scariest zombies. That would be the scariest zombies. Well, prison zombies would be scary too.
I think toddler zombies would be pretty scary.
Oh.
Because it would be like, oh, are you all right, little kid? And it's like, ah! I think that would be scary.
You know what I am sick of? Zombies. In TV shows, I am sick of zombies.
Yeah, it was the zombies. It's like we had the discussion about snack foods. Like it was the cupcake craze.
Oh, yeah.
And then it went to donuts, which we were on the cusp of, like on the rise.
We were before that.
We were on the rise of that.
And pies, and we were before pies. And pies are now coming into the mix.
Like it's boutique pie joints. Like, come on, screw up. Give me a good apple pie. But
yeah, don't ruin pie.
But yeah, don't ruin pie. But like, Dracula, like the Interview with the Vampire, and like all the like vampire thing was the thing, and then it became zombies. Then I think they tried with some werewolf stuff, but no one really cares.
I think what makes the zombies kind of scary is they're dumb. So if you can have a dumb monster, makes them a little bit scarier. Because they're unpredictable.
And you can't reason.
Right.
With their logic.
Like dumb werewolves. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I think that's what makes werewolves scary is because they're vicious like a rabid dog or a wolf, but then they're very smart and calculating like a human. I think aliens can be very scary in ways that we as humans can't even fathom yet. And I'm not just talking about like probe aliens. I'm talking about blending in aliens.
Ooh,
they blend in and they mess with you.
Like V.
What?
Like on V. You never watched the TV show V? They made it twice. Mm-hmm. And they had a snake lady that ate a hamster. I remember watching that as a kid and shitting myself later.
Isn't that just Species again?
No, it was different.
Oh.
It's kind of like They Live, but before they got to North America.
I'm pretty sure that there already are aliens on Earth, and they just live super deep in the ocean because we can't go there.
I don't think so.
I do. They can come up, get what they want, go back down. I think octopus could possibly be an alien species.
I think the biggest creature that we have to overcome is the Canadian Revenue Agency. That is the biggest. And the credit card companies. Those are the biggest monsters of the current
people
time.
who make interest rate laws.
Yeah.
That's a very scary movie.
That's the people we need to take care of. And that's what
That's who I would not take with me on a zombie apocalypse.
The guy who created the debit interest, the charge.
Yep.
The charge for using my debit card. That's the guy who's from Winnipeg. Buddy, come on. All right, well, that's it.
That's our time.
That's our time. We're gonna go and put some wood on the doors and the windows. So
We're gonna get some flats of Coke.
good luck, everyone, on your preparations for the apocalypse, or like what we like to call the Jets whiteout.
Ooh.
Let's go, Jets! Thanks, everyone. We're Bucko. This is my best friend Lauren.
This is my best friend Aaron.
Watch our stuff, subscribe, and make sure you alert our channel so you can watch it every week. We love you.
Love you
See you
too.
next time. Bye.